How's it going, my fellow viewers? It's your host J48, back with an incredible review of Death Stranding. So pack your bags, secure your cargo, and whatever you do, please stay out of the rain because we're about to head straight into this epic storm. Death Stranding is a third-person action-adventure game that was developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment in 2019. Set in a haunting post-apocalyptic version of the United States, the game presents a world left fractured and unstable after a cataclysmic event known as the Death Stranding, which wiped out much of civilization and severed human connections across the country. The central objective of the game is to help rebuild and reunite the nation under the banner of the United Cities of America, restoring a sense of stability and cooperation in a world plagued by isolation and fear. To achieve this, you join an organization called Bridges, whose mission is to reconnect surviving settlements by restoring access to the chiral network, a revolutionary communication system capable of linking distant cities and outposts despite the hostile conditions of the world. You assume the role of Sam Bridges, a lone courier tasked with transporting vital cargo across the dangerous remnants of North America. The game opens with Sam undertaking a routine delivery to Central Knot City. However, this seemingly ordinary mission quickly escalates when Sam is attacked by a mysterious terrorist known as Higgs Monahan. The encounter leaves him unconscious and ultimately taken to a Bridges facility, where he is drawn into a much larger mission. The gameplay in Death Stranding presents what initially appears to be a straightforward courier experience with you transporting cargo from point A to point B. However, this simple premise is elevated through a variety of unique delivery orders and the constant threat of mysterious enemies that turn even routine tasks into tense and memorable experiences. Each delivery order comes with its own set of conditions that must be carefully managed. Failing to meet these requirements can result in a poor delivery rating or, in some cases, a complete mission failure. For example, certain orders require you to complete deliveries within strict time limits, forcing you to carefully plan your route and manage your stamina. Other missions may task you with stealing valuable cargo from hostile groups known as mules, adding stealth and combat elements to the otherwise methodical traversal. These varying objectives prevent the gameplay from becoming repetitive and ensures that progression through the story remains engaging. What truly sets Death Stranding apart, however, is the presence of its most enigmatic enemies, the Beached Things, or BTs. Unlike human adversaries such as mules or terrorists, BTs are invisible ghost-like entities tethered to the world by umbilical cords. They typically appear during timefall rain or snowstorms, creating moments of intense suspense as they silently stalk you, attempting to drag you into the other side. Encounters with BTs demand patience, awareness, and careful movement, transforming the environment itself into a major threat. Together, the game's diverse delivery conditions and unsettling enemy encounters add layers of tension and intrigue, which creates a challenging and elevating gameplay experience. Death Stranding features a wide range of realistic gameplay mechanics that deeply immerse you in its expansive open world. Among these, the most impactful features are how the environment affects traversal, the way your total cargo weight influences movement, and the lasting impact of timefall on all craftable equipment. The game's environment plays a critical role in shaping how you navigate the world, presenting constant physical challenges in the form of towering snow-covered mountains, deep rivers, and steep uneven slopes. These environmental obstacles can drastically affect your movement by slowing you down, sweeping you away in strong currents, or causing you to lose your footing and slide down rocky terrain. As a result, the game encourages you to carefully plan your routes and choose the appropriate gear to use, such as ladders, climbing anchors, or specialized footwear, before accepting each delivery. This emphasis on preparation adds a strong sense of realism to exploration and reinforces the feeling that every journey must be earned. Equally important is the weight management system, which directly impacts your mobility while traversing the landscape on foot. Carrying excessive cargo or equipment can throw off your balance, making it difficult to walk even short distances without stumbling. If you become too heavily burdened, you may topple over entirely, causing your cargo to spill onto the ground and suffer damage. In extreme cases, slow movement speed and constant instability can make completing a delivery nearly impossible. This mechanic not only heightens tension during travel but also encourages strategic decision-making when selecting which items to bring, further grounding the experience in realism. Additionally, another layer of immersion is the timefall system, one of Death Stranding's most distinctive features. Timefall rain and snow rapidly age anything they come into contact with, causing all crafted items, ranging from tools and weapons to vehicles and constructed roads, to gradually deteriorate. If left unused for too long, these items will eventually become unusable. This creates a world where resources feel valuable and fleeting, pushing you to make meaningful choices about when and how to use the equipment you craft, which makes this feature a truly immersive and strategic element in Death Stranding. Outside of its main narrative, Death Stranding offers several optional side activities that provide additional depth and enjoyment if you want to further immerse yourself in its open world. Two of the most prominent side activities include completing standard orders and raiding enemy camps, both of which add meaningful progression and variety beyond the core story missions. Standard orders function similarly to the delivery missions found in the main storyline, but without the accompanying cutscenes. What sets them apart is the increased flexibility they offer, including the option to take on higher difficulty variations that present tougher conditions and stricter requirements. Completing these orders allows you to build reputation with the various settlements and facilities scattered across the map. As your connection level with these locations increases, you are rewarded with a range of benefits such as upgraded equipment, access to new standard orders, and cosmetic items. This progression system makes standard orders a rewarding way to enhance your loadout, allowing you to unlock more efficient, durable, and visually appealing gear that directly improves your delivery capabilities. Another engaging and far riskier side activity involves raiding camps occupied by mules and terrorists. These hostile factions hoard large quantities of resources stolen from other couriers, making their camps valuable targets if you're in need of supplies. However, these camps are heavily guarded with patrolling enemies, but if your infiltration is successful, you can have your pick of whatever cargo they have stored away. This presents you with a great opportunity to acquire additional resources to replace broken or damaged gear, and even retrieve lost cargo, which makes raiding enemy camps an enjoyable and worthwhile side activity. Death Stranding features stunning and meticulously polished visual graphics that transform each playthrough into a deeply immersive visual experience. The game's graphical fidelity brings its vast open world to life through realistic environmental effects and dynamic weather systems that constantly shape your journey. From the smallest details to sweeping landscapes, the presentation reinforces the sense of isolation and scale that defines the game's atmosphere. The environmental effects are particularly impressive, with flowing rivers and streams that move naturally and convincingly across the terrain. Also, as you traverse snowy regions, your presence leaves visible footprints, while vehicles carve deep tracks into the snow, subtly marking the paths you have taken. These small yet impactful details make the world feel reactive and alive, emphasizing that your actions leave lasting impressions on the environment. In addition to this, the game's weather anomalies further enhance its visual spectacle. A light drizzle or gentle snowfall can quickly escalate into a torrential downpour or a blinding blizzard, dramatically altering visibility and making navigation far more dangerous. These sudden shifts in weather not only heighten tension but also force you to reconsider your route and movement with every step forward. Together, these breathtaking visual elements do more than simply provide striking scenery, they reinforce the realism and immersion of Death Stranding's open world. By blending detailed environmental effects with unpredictable weather conditions, the game creates a visually compelling experience that draws you deeper into its haunting and beautifully realized world. For the most part, Death Stranding is an enjoyable and thoughtfully designed game, but one of its most significant shortcomings lies in its main narrative, which often suffers from excessive fillers. While the story itself is intriguing and ambitious, the way it is presented can feel unnecessarily drawn out, occasionally disrupting the overall flow of the gameplay and diminishing the experience. Throughout my playthrough, I noticed that many of the cutscenes tended to linger well beyond the point at which their narrative's purpose had been fulfilled. For instance, during a cutscene, you are forced to remain idle and look around a room for several minutes instead of being able to skip ahead to the next part of the scene. While these moments may have been intended to build atmosphere or tension, they often feel more like interruptions than meaningful storytelling. This issue becomes even more apparent near the end of the game, where an extended and exhausting sequence significantly overstays its welcome, testing your patience instead of delivering a satisfying narrative payoff. In summary, Death Stranding stands out as an extraordinary and unconventional gaming experience that transforms the seemingly simple act of delivering cargo into something surprisingly tense, strategic, and rewarding. Its carefully designed gameplay systems encourage you to fully engage with the world, turning each journey into a test of planning, patience, and adaptability. The game's immersive and realistic environments draw you in, making exploration feel meaningful rather than routine. The inclusion of engaging side activities, such as standard orders and enemy camp raids, further enhances the experience by offering variety and rewarding progression beyond the main storyline. Coupled with breathtaking visuals and detailed environmental effects, Death Stranding achieves a level of realism that makes the world feel both alive and hauntingly beautiful. Every landscape, weather shift, and environmental interaction contributes to the game's strong sense of immersion. That said, the game is not without its flaws. The excessive fillers present in the main story can significantly disrupt pacing and become frustrating at times, detracting from the otherwise compelling narrative and interfering with the overall flow of gameplay. Despite these shortcomings, Death Stranding remains a highly memorable experience. With its innovative gameplay, intriguing themes, and mysterious story, it offers something truly different from traditional action-adventure titles. Overall, I would rate Death Stranding an 8 out of 10. I would definitely recommend giving this game a try. It delivers a strong and unique gameplay experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you had a blast watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to join our awesome 48th century community. We'd love to have you on board. And also don't be shy, drop us a comment below and let us know your thoughts. We're all ears and can't wait to hear from you.